am feeling so great to have you today on Press R. Welcome to the edition of Press R on this 10th day of January 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about 20 years, getting to 20 years since Cameroon launched a war against corruption. We're going to try to see who is winning the war. Is it corruption or is it Cameroon? And before we get into the focus of our program, because that's what we're going to focus on, we are going to ask another question. Can the separatists be appeased? Given that even this week again we had 2 attacks, too many for Cameroons, and they were deadly. We're going to treat that with the panelists that we have here in the studio already, and we have Mr. Epo Diodone. Mr. Epo Diodone is the head of the Research and Cooperation Division of the National Anti-Corruption Commission, CONAC. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Killiam, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir. We have Richard Lajong. Richard, and there is the publisher of the Herald Tribune newspaper. Welcome to the program.
Thanks.
Happy New Year. This is the first time meeting you on Press Hour.
Indeed, thanks very much, Killian, and Happy New Year to the viewers of CRTV. It's my pleasure to be here, the second edition of Press Hour for 2021.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. We have next to you Christian Nga. Christian is the publisher of the lone English language daily newspaper in Cameroon, the Guardian Post. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Yes.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year once again. This is the first time we're having you on Press R this year. Ladies and gentlemen, you have the panelists introduced to you, and we're going to kickstart the program with the first lot. The first lot on the program is the press review. We're going to review our week when the newspapers just came back from recess. And our lady on that beat, Emmanuel Avenue, is standing by with the press review.
The press is backed with diverse content for its audience this 2021. Cameroon Tribune quotes Paul Biya to the nation. We are on the right path, but promises hard times for separatists on the post as he exudes confidence in spite of hard times on the horizon. To the Median, Biya weeps as Cameroon is destroyed by separatists. In the eye of municipal updates, Biya renews zeal to ensure development, growth in Northwest and Southwest, then lectures Kamto on best democratic practices on the Chronicle Times. To the Guardian Post, the year 2020 has been that of thorns and roses. Cameroon is set to host 2021 Shan on the Post newspaper, even as the intermediate lions need to roar on Cameroon Tribune, especially as the tourism sector is sharpened ready for the event on The Voice. But still preoccupying is the crisis in the Northwest and Southwest regions. The Sun reports on the deadly attack on SDO's convoy as 5 are killed in Northwest on the horizon, including communication delegate for Momo, when convoy hit an explosive device at a time when U.S. Congress accuses friends of double standards in the Anglophone crisis on the Guardian Post. The Horizon announces doomsday ahead of ghost town observers as Governor Lele L'Afrique forewarns. To Cameroon Tribune, Bamenda mobilizes for breakthrough in 2021. An idea shared by The Voice as firmer U.S. Resolution 684 indicts France reiterates international mediated negotiation in the crisis. Then patients are stranded as Northwest hemodialysis center machines break down on the Post newspaper, causing Northwest kidney patients to say they have lost trust in Biya regime on the Guardian Post. His Lordship Michael Bibi is new Bishop of Boya on the Post newspaper as Prime Minister Joseph Dion Gute clocks 2 years in office. On municipal updates, the revision of the electoral list is launched in Garwa on Cameroon Tribune just when social distancing is fast disappearing in gatherings on the same paper. The New Year wishes to the head of state are cancelled due to the spread of COVID-19, and schools fully resume for the second term. Until I come your way again, this is your Hour with the Press.
We look forward to having you, and that will be next week for another edition of this program. Emanuela, but we count on God to make it possible. He is the supreme being that makes us live the next second of our life. And as we say, we're going to start with what just happened. Again, in the Northwest region, and it's about the crisis in the two English-speaking regions, the Northwest and Southwest regions. At the time, we thought that enough warning has been given to those who are perpetuating the crisis and killing. We had two deadly attacks in the Northwest, one in Momo Division and one at the gateway to Bamenda, that is at Matazam. I'm going to start with you, Christian. When you look at this, opening our year, when we thought it was going to be a year of hope, what's your take?
Well, that is just to what happened in, you've cited Momo and Matazam at the weekend, but we got up this morning also to also hear that the Pamol estate manager who was kidnapped by suspected fighters has also been killed. It adds to the number of killings allegedly committed by separatist fighters this weekend. I think all of it comes to, they come to actually say that we are still several kilometers away from resolving the crisis, contrary to what some regime apologists think. Mm-hmm. I want to say that government has the will to actually resolve the crisis, but I think they have to go deeper than what has been done already. Yes,
Richard. Christian made mention of the incident in the Southwest region. It was not yet confirmed. Not yet confirmed because officially, before we say it on TV, on CRTV, we need to have official sources. I've not heard. That's why I could not be talking about that. But commenting on the atrocities that have started this year, what do you say?
It is very disheartening, Killian, that we begin the year with so many deaths already taking place within the first week of the year. Talking about the case in Momo Division and the one at Matazam in the Bambutus Division. And we don't know for how long this is going to take, because I just want to say that this is just the beginning, and we've already recorded more than 8 deaths, or 10, close to 10. Yes. And but maybe by the time we run to a month, 2 months, 3 months,
we don't expect to have that.
We pray that we don't get to that level, but we think that this is high time government should already start thinking about doing something as far as this crisis is concerned.
And then doing something, that's what we are going to focus on within the first 15 minutes of the program. And is, can the separatists be appeased? Mr. Director, you are the head of the Research and Cooperation Division of the National Anti-Corruption Commission, CONAC. Welcome to the program once again. When you listen, when you watch images coming from the Northwest and Southwest with so many killings that continue, what comment do you have to give on that?
What I can say is that I'm thinking that it's a really challenge those parties are giving to the government, and the government is supposed to still be very firm and strong, because I'm not thinking that there can be a quantity of people can be more powerful than the government. The government is supposed to be again more powerful, and to look for all means to bring the peace in that region. The means can be peaceful. It can be to sensitize the separatists. Can be also to see the people who they have to send to the field. Because,
okay. Now you have right away got into discussing what we are going to treat today as our first topic.
Yes.
That is to ask. Apart from the two reasons you have given, which can be part of the appeasement of the separatists, what other things do you think can be done to can they actually be appeased? That's the question we are asking.
No, I'm thinking that they will be finally at peace. For that one, who can be sure everything is the way the government will handle the matter. If the government handle the matter with all the ability, I'm thinking that the peace will come back there.
Yes, ability, what do we put into that word you have used as ability?
But the ability can be the people who go to the field, the people the government will be selling every day to go and meet the people from the local communities? Yes. Mm-hmm. Those the people the government will send should be the people who are credible, who are well also listen to the amongst the population. Mm-hmm. You know, if you go, if they send somebody, the population like, I don't know if they will accept what he was saying. So they have to choose correct people, and they have also the DDA, so be more operational. So if it has happened that some separatists are coming out from the bush, they should take them and give them all the protection and all the conditions which can make them to be integrated in the society.
Very good. You listen to Mr. Epo Diodone. Yes, Christian. He has talked about the DDR. He's talking about the Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Commission that is headed by Mr. Fayengo Francis. And we have a center that is built in Bamenda, one in Boya. And since
the one in Boya is still to be constructed, I think.
Yes, the one in
the center is functional.
But the center is functional. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about. And one in the far north, because we are talking about those who are committing acts of terror. They go around the country. Talking about terror, you remember that even in the far north this weekend, we had a terrorist attack that killed about 11 people. You are going to, Christian, talk about
appeasement measures.
Can the separatists be appeased?
The answer is yes and no.
Yes?
Yes, if government is sincere about the appeasement measures. In my opinion, I've said this on this program before. I think from the beginning, we have said, and I continue to say, that the first appeasement measure government can, take is releasing everybody who has been, who is being detained or has been convicted in connection to this crisis. Mm-hmm. When we release these guys, government can proceed with declaring a general amnesty, so that those who are living abroad and are afraid to come back home because they are afraid that they will be arrested, can now be free to come back home. And then when you release those who are in jail, you grant a general amnesty, you can now call for an inclusive dialogue without preconditions, without a taboo subject. That way, we can have people who are in jail, the leaders, those who are in the diaspora. Imagine a dialogue where you find Sisiko Ayuk, you have Chris Anu, you have Tapang Ivo, you have Mark Barata, you have somebody like Eric Tato, and then you go to Liberia and look for Field Marshal, the person they call Oliver Tambo. There are people in every division, the villagers and the traditional rulers or the elite of the areas know the key Amber generals, as they call themselves. You can begin negotiating with them after you will have released their leaders from jail, you will have declared general amnesty, and then government can call for an inclusive dialogue without preconditions, without making policy about it.
Yes, well, I stay with you.
Let me come, Killian. What I'm saying is that the appeasement measures should not be dictated.
You will continue. No. Because I'm with you. The point is, when you give the names that you have listed, and we know as government says that some of these atrocities have been instigated by them. We are even going to look at the case of the United States now, where the President of the United States himself is probably going to go through another appeasement because he incited insurrection. Now, I'm doing that comparison to come to the names that you are given, that they should be freed. Even in the United States, the President is going to be held responsible for acts that went against the institution, went against
Killian.
Yes.
Remember, there is a very strong adage which goes thus: when you want to reconcile after a war, you don't count corpses. What do I mean? It means that when you want to reconcile, you forget about the past and move ahead. First of all, I was going to say that if government can be seen to be talking with the names I cited above, that's just part of the appeasement measures. I mean, it will calm down tempers. And then secondly, the people who are in the bushes. It happened in Rwanda and we saw it. The people who are in the bushes, there are many of them who are prepared to come out. It's not just about coming out and be hosted at the various DDR centers.
Yes.
Government should be able to say,
yes,
you drop down your gun in exchange for this. Propose something to these guys that will make it more lucrative than being in the bushes.
See,
if government does that, I bet you within the next 2-3 months, if these measures are taken, government is spending a lot of money to maintain the army, keep the army,
of course,
to fight the war. Money which you could use to appease these guys, offer them lucrative jobs, offer them some incentives, and they will leave the bushes.
Because the integrity of the state is at stake by those people. Now, let me hold you. I'll stay with you, because the points you are making are very crucial to the country. I hold you by your words. When you say we forget about the past and move forward, it's a very good wish. But we know that the study of history is knowing the past, studying the past to know the present in order to predict the future so that we have a better future. If we forget the past, what future are we going to have?
You see, Killian, we are still at this level because of this narrative that we cannot forget about the past. We have lost so many souls. We have lost so much in terms of properties that have been destroyed. If government had moved away from saying that we cannot forget about the past. I mean, I had an uncle who was divorced with a wife for over 28 years, but they are remarried. Because you have forgotten about the past and you want to move on. I already said, and I want to insist, when you want to reconcile after a war, you don't count corpses. You just move ahead and say, okay, what has passed. Let's reconcile. And then let everybody be called on the dialogue table, those who matter.
Thank you.
And this tension will die down naturally.
We come to you, Richard, the head of the Research and Cooperation Division of the National Anti-Corruption Commission. Talked about having credible people to go down there and meet those who are fighting, those who are disgruntled. By that, he is insinuating that some of the people who have been doing the peace crusading are not actually credible. You say that, but there should be other points. Do you agree that the separatists can be appeased? If yes, how?
I think I'm of the opinion that the separatists can be appeased. Like Christian said, there are a lot of things government is supposed to do, but it's not doing it. For example, a few years back we had the dialogue, but none of these guys was brought into the dialogue committee.
What do you mean by none of them? We had guys from the bushes who were still fresh.
Those were guys who had already dropped their arms and came for the dialogue. I mean, to me again, that was a kind of a public show. Because the real people, the real people, Killian, were not brought in. He mentioned Seko. We have Tapang Ivor, we have Mark Barretta, we have Chris Anu, and the rest. None of them came in. I think these are the guys who are teleguiding these boys in the bushes to pick up arms against the state.
You will continue, please. Let us be very clear that these people you are naming, except those who were in the jails, were invited to the major national dialogue. To be very frank, they were invited and they gave conditions.
Conditions, yes.
Yes, if you want to say it that way, you can continue.
No, I beg to differ.
But to say that they were not invited.
No, they were given conditions, but the government also meet up with these conditions because at least they needed a neutral ground. What was wrong moving to a neutral ground and bringing these guys to talk? Because if that happened, I don't think we would have been where we are today. Because some people have taken Kilian. Let me remind you that some people have taken this thing as a business, a place where they can make a lot of money. It suffices for an army general or for a colonel to call and say, "I need this amount of money to do this," and they will give. That is business. But
they who?
I'm saying that we have army generals, we have colonels who are in the war front, that they can just call, say, "I need money," and they will give. Because I've taken this thing as a money-making venture. Instead of handling the crisis as it is, we need to talk to this guy. Inclusive dialogue.
I don't know how you can defend. I don't know. No, we are going around the table. We are going around the table. We'll go to
the outside, to talk on the crisis that they don't even master what is happening. They come and think about themselves.
Can I make just a statement?
Yeah, we'll come back to you. We have the head of the research and cooperation division. We are going around the table. We will make your statement. Never just mine. Yes, you've listened to them.
Yes.
What's your comment?
What I would suggest is I would tell them that in this particular case, you will see that the leaders of the separatists, you cannot identify them really, but they will say that they are this man. But those who are in the bush, how can you do to identify them? How can you do to call them that? How can you discuss with them?
Let me answer that question.
Yes, how can
every family, 1 minute, sir. Yes, I come from the Northwest. Let me explain, sir.
Yes.
You are a father like I am.
Yes.
If your child is in the bush, you are aware that your child is in the bush, true or false? If your child is not at home with you,
it's okay. Don't continue. Don't hold him to task. Continue.
In every village,
yes,
either the quarterhead or the traditional ruler, they know the leaders of those AMBAC groups,
yes, whom they don't control.
It doesn't matter whether they control or not. They can give information to government if government wants to engage them in dialogue. And let me say it very clearly, Kilian. What took place last year, September 30th, at a conference center was a grand CPDM conference. You have never seen anywhere in the world where there's a conflict like the one we have in the Northwest and Southwest, and you hold a major national dialogue or whatever you call it, and you ship in CPDM officials from all over.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
No, let him.
The staff of CRTV. Let me explain, please. The staff of CRTV cannot be. The staff of CRTV cannot be on strike. Yes. And you call a general assembly of all journalists in Cameroon to come and discuss their problems.
No, that's something else.
Exactly.
That's not something else.
Government was supposed to sit on the table with those separatists. That's not what we are saying.
Let me ask you this question: do you call the emeritus? Wait first. You are not dictating on the set. Cardinal Christian to me. Do you call him?
Kilian, would you
don't answer.
The major national dialogue to resolve this crisis?
You are escaping the question.
I am not. Look,
do you call
the key actors in this crisis?
Listen first.
Government is fully aware. They have the names and the location of the key actors.
Do you know that you have not answered the question?
Call them to a dialogue without making publicity about it.
I have other names.
Let me ask you a question. No, do you think that those boys
we should stop fooling ourselves around?
Why in the bush? Why?
Do
you think that those boys were in the bush?
Conference center.
They know what they are doing, that they are separatists. Do you think are you not sure that they can be professional killers or armed robbers?
I am saying that the government approaches them in the right way without publicity. In the right way without making publicity about it. This crisis will be resolved within the next 2 months.
There are some who knows what they're doing. There are some who are only there for food.
We should avoid using politicians who are the ones who are fighting this crisis.
Christian, do you notice that you are just shouting at everybody?
Yeah.
I'm not shouting.
And that, the world is watching us.
Yes.
If what I'm saying is not true,
you don't want to allow me to drive home my point, Kilian.
Is that true? The person who has spoken here since we started, you are the one.
He has spoken
How do you say I don't let you? You see, you are also facing the world as we speak here. You will continue to speak, but I think that this time around you will be calmer. Okay. When you make your points, even calmer, yes, the points get through. Okay. Are we okay?
I'm okay.
Yes, thank you very much. We are going to continue with you, Richard. What other means? I know you seem to be taking people to task, but the question I was asking Christian, there are some sweeping statements that don't go. When I just asked you, do you call the emeritus Christian Cardinal Tome a CPDM militant? You didn't answer. You went elsewhere. Okay, and we can. Do you also agree that there are so many other names that came into the place that are neutral? Do you call
they are not key actors in this crisis? Frundi, Christian Cardinal Tome.
You call them
the key actors. These are even people who have suffered.
No,
from the crisis.
No,
from the alleged atrocities of the separatists.
Again, you are going the same way.
Of course.
Richard, we're going
because
to.
If they are part of the crisis, they cannot be also. We have seen them being kidnapped.
You're actually not changing. The question we are asking is this: can these separatists be appeased? And we have asked this question because we want you to suggest ways by which they can be appeased. We don't want you to be crying about what is happening.
I'm sure I did.
Yes. We're going around the table now.
Let me answer. I'm sure I did. I said
yes.
Government should release.
If you did, then let him speak.
Government should release everybody who.
If you said that, then let's go ahead.
And then I said government should promise these guys in the bushes and not juicy incentives.
I think
so that they will drop the guns. And
Richard is speaking.
Yes, I would say these guys can be appeased. The separatists can be appeased. They come from families. We know them. From the quarter heads, from the various homes, at least we know these guys. There's an approach which we can use, not using violence. Because if you approach them using some peaceful means and giving them incentive, promising them, please come, this is a job for you.
That has been done with the
DDR is not enough, Killian.
Have you gone to the center in Bamenda, see the way it has been built?
Yeah, I know, but what are those who have left from there? What are they doing? Are they not digging trains around Yaoundé?
Okay. Now we are going to move out of that topic into our focus for today, and our focus is corruption. The government launched a war on corruption, that's against corruption, for more than 20 years. The war has been taking different stages, and today we have a National Anti-Corruption Commission since 2006, if my memories are not failing me. We're going to see who is winning the war. But before we go to that, watch this report by Ebenezer Kanga.
Several structures exist in Cameroon to fight against embezzlement and corruption. But the ill is still deep-rooted in society. The chairman of the National Anti-Corruption Commission, CONAC, holds that with Cameroon having ratified the African Union Convention on the fight against corruption, the fight against the cankerworm will be given a boost.
With the ratification of the Convention of UA, that he did in April 2020, it is a reinforcement of the fight against corruption, because we will follow illicit enrichment and money laundering. And we think that if we cooperate very well with all structures put on place so as to fight against corruption, we have a big result.
The Supreme State Audit Office will intensify prevention and sanctions.
We are going to increase workshops on sensitization and education, while also still carrying out the many more controls and also systematizing the sanction of vote holders and managers whom we find faulty.
Over and above prevention and sanctions, education of Cameroonians on integrity is very vital.
Thank you, Emilion Ebenezer. Mr. Epo Dieudonné,
Yes.
You are in charge of research and cooperation and the division in the CONAC.
Yes.
That's the National Anti-Corruption Commission.
Yes.
What will you say is the situation of corruption, because the question we are asking is the corruption winning the war or government through the various commissions and other bodies put in place, winning the war, the fight?
Okay, thank you, my friend Kiliam. What I have to say is that you know, the fight against corruption is not a small fight. It's a fight which is very difficult. But the government, since 2006, has created the National Anti-Corruption Commission.
Before that, we had an observatory.
When the president took office in 1982, himself emphasized on his principle, which was rigor and moralization. So I'm thinking that the government is taking a good way to fight against corruption. And if you see what is happening, what CONAC is doing since 2006, and particularly when CONAC started to become effectively operational, CONAC has done a lot of things in this country. If you take the sensitization aspect, if you take the investigation, you will see that there are many investigations which have been carried out, and many people have been prosecuted because of the actions of CONAC. And you will see that CONAC has, what we are thinking that CONAC has done very well, CONAC has brought many people to know that corruption is a bad thing. And CONAC is bringing people, the citizen, to be ready to denounce corruption. If you take only statistic, when CONAC started around 2010, we have only 482 people who denounced corruption. But now, in 2018, we have already 23,042 people who denounce acts of corruption. So you understand that the people are very aware. And if you see, ma'am, our administration, there are many measures we are taken to avoid contact between population and administration. You will see like procurement, in the procurement they are using electronic to supply. You will see like in finance there was something that corruption was, they were fine, we used to see corruption. Like to have your pay slip when a worker comes from Kaele or for Bamenda or for Boya, to have his pay slip, he will go to finance to check, to ask people, and you know, by contacting people, they will ask him many things. But now only you go to your computer and you go to that site, you can print your pay slip. You see, it's something which I'm thinking that is something which has done, which will help, which is helping many people. And you will see even education, to pay your fees, you pass through digital. It's digital. Or you go to experience on other things. So you are not. They are not. There's no way again to see people moving to go to the ministry. If people have only that idea, it means that the work of CONAC is good. Now I'm hearing that they will put automatical
toll gates.
Yes, you understand. It means that everybody is going to take measure to fight against corruption, and you will see that all the ministry. There is anti-corruption unit.
Yes. So you take credit for all of that. Yes. Those are measures that have been put in place.
Yes.
In 1998, that was the year Cameroon had the unenviable first position in the world as the first corrupt country in the world. That was 1998. The most, if you like.
Yeah.
I think it followed also in 1999. And these are the areas that were singled out as the most corrupt in the country. We had the police, we had the gendarmerie, we had education, customs, we had treasury, taxation, and the judiciary. You have not actually touched some of these places. You are touching some subsections. In these areas, what can we say?
In custom, you know, custom now they have also a free line. When you have, if you are a victim of corruption, you can call.
Okay.
Yes. So you go to gendarmerie, also they have a free line like that.
Yes, they have lines, and if you notice any corruption with the National Gendarmerie,
yes,
especially with unprofessional or unethical behavior, you call 1501.
Yes,
they're going to punish you for that. For that, I accept.
Yes, Ministry of Commerce.
For police, because those are areas that are named here, you just call 1500. That's 1,500. And to condone to that, we're going to take you to task to some of these things. But we agree what we are saying. Some of these walkie-talkie, the special communication within the security forces. Once you call, their bosses are connected. So the people who are supposed to do that have an obligation to carry out some of those things. For one thing, sometimes we don't call. Now, you've talked of some of these things. We stay with you because you are our expert.
Let me just
our focus.
Killian, please.
Yes.
It would be wrong if we try to narrow this discussion to CONAC.
No, we are coming up. We are not narrowing.
It is not about
this. Is the start.
We are not come here to enumerate the achievements of CONAC in the fight against corruption.
This is the start. We will get out of that.
About whether Cameroon is winning the war against corruption.
Yes, no.
Let's not make it look like we are.
We are not. We are beginning with CONAC because that's where he is, and that is the center.
He has raised so many issues that we need to respond to before he continues.
You have time. Let us take him to task first. Yes, Mr. Epo.
Yes.
In education, for example, you've said they have their red lines, they have hotlines where you can report. Many people think that the corruption is just being transformed because examination, entrance exams are still being paid. But the manner in which it's paid is different. Is CONAC aware? I'm just taking that for example in many other areas. So how are you working to make sure that these things don't happen? I give you an example. Somebody wants to bribe to go into a professional school. The person goes and deposits the money in a bank in their name. It doesn't go and pay to somebody. When the exam is out, some of them even are duped. The transactions are done, and you don't see any direct dealing with money. Is CONAC aware of this, and what's CONAC doing? We're going to extend to other areas.
No, what you have to understand, Mr. Killian, is that that type of corruption is not open, like you are saying. It's hidden. If people they agree in their rooms or they agree in the place where there are not other people, how will you know that somebody has gone, he has taken money to go and put in the bank so that other people will come and take? You cannot do so. That's why in CONAC we are insisting on the fact that people have to denounce. So if we are aware of something like that, you would know there will be an investigation. And I can tell you that every time when there is the beginning of school year, when there are many
people seeking admissions.
When there are concours. When there's any information, CONAC will go and investigate.
Now we'll get out. We'll get out. Now the problem. What people say about CONAC, that actually waters down what you are saying is that CONAC doesn't have the powers to sanction, and that's where it doesn't.
That's your problem. You want me to give an answer?
Yes, of course.
No. We are saying that the CONAC has no power according to the decree creating CONAC, that we don't have power maybe to prosecute. But what you have to understand is that there are certain cases where if you come and meet people who are doing corruption on the spot, you can prosecute them. If you arrest them, you can prosecute them. And there are many cases that we have reported to police and are in jail. When it is on the spot. But if it's that they reported that there was corruption, so they have to investigate. At that time, CONAC does not have again power to go and to tell you directly.
Does it take long to do the investigation? Because
investigation, we cannot say that the investigation has a time that you have to say it's 2 days or 3 days. Investigation can be 1 day. It can take also 3 months and 6 months.
And even years.
Yes. Of course.
But then when it takes that long, what becomes?
No, you are not the one asking the questions.
Do you want a fair investigation, or you want only that there should be a result in the investigation?
Okay. No, don't ask him questions. Don't ask him questions.
We should be result-oriented.
Now, what's your contribution? Don't ask him questions. I'm the one
Can I
asking
say
the
something
questions.
now?
Richard, after you, then.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying that.
Yes.
I think the methods we're using to fight corruption in this country, it leaves much to be desired, because we're struggling to fight the corruption, but yet there's still a lot of things going on wrong.
Yes.
I watched a program on, one of the news items on CRTV, how Konak went out on the field and a policeman was escaping with money from his pocket. I think those are issues. We bring those people to book, sanction them publicly, let people know that this person has been sanctioned. But what is happening is, since Konak is
just said that. He just said
like
that.
a toothless bulldog.
No, he just said that.
No,
Say it.
But
Say it.
No, excuse me.
Yes.
It takes long. I want to say it takes long for some of those sanctions to come in place, because there's a lot of procedure to take before somebody is finally sanctioned. There are people, unfortunately, those who are even sanctioned are those who take maybe 1,000 or 200 or 10,000 francs. But those who embezzle billions, who are found corrupt, who have been corrupted with billions, are left in the streets. They are moving about freely and doing their things. No,
we have so many of them in the prison now.
But
we have so many in prison.
Yeah, I know, Killian. I know so of people who are still moving about freely, which this same Konak accuse them of having embezzled billions. Until today, they are still moving around freely.
Let me ask you. You still have the floor. Let me ask you. Have you gone to the special criminal court to ask whether their files are pending? If you had gone there and you didn't find their files there, and you come and tell all this here, then
justice denied. And that is why when we keep delaying and wasting time, the corruption increases. People continue to do so many things, and before you realize, they're out of the country. How do you bring them back?
You have the floor. Now, before I will give you enough time to speak.
Let me just point out one thing.
You are going to point out more than one thing. Now, listen to this before you point out. Okay. I will give you enough time to point out 5 things.
Thank you, sir.
He talked about, Richard talked about, the director here, who is head of the Research and Cooperation Division of CONAC and the National Anti-Corruption Commission, he said they usually sometimes have some people on the spot and they punish. Richard cited examples of 2 security officers. This weekend, not long ago, CONAC caught them, one in the west, I know, one in the center south. And they were caught red-handed. And you said you saw them running because CONAC actually investigated. When we are advancing our points, we should first accept facts. Then we can go ahead. Do you accept that that is something laudable that CONAC did? If you accept,
I'm very okay with the work that CONAC has done to reduce corruption in this country.
Yes.
For that one, there's no argument about that.
Okay.
But for the fact that CONAC, as Richard said, is a toothless bulldog. The CONAC ends at denouncing. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. The first thing about the CONAC...
What do you mean by denouncing?
He talk about denunciation.
No, people denounce to them.
The first thing to do to
CONAC can only point out they don't have the powers to order for prosecution. Let me come.
I think they do.
He's here, Killian. The CONAC report, which is supposed to be independent of that body, can never be made public until it goes to the presidency for signature before the names are published. That already tells you that the body is not independent enough to fight corruption in this country.
You continue, you have the floor, please. No other person will speak. You will go up to 5 or 6 points. Now, under your first point. Under your first point. Are you saying that when CONAC does his investigations, it should bring his report to the public for the public to sign?
Court. It should send it to the court to prosecute the people. We have people, like Richard said here, we have CONAC reports every December. I have copies. We have people who are cited as embezzling more than 10 billion, but are moving about freely and seeking CBDM or on the streets.
Still on that point, you continue, please. And do you know that when you have, is it 5 from 500? What's the base level that you have special courts to handle? Special criminal court
is 50 million.
Yes. Now you are talking about billions. No, we are on the same. No, you are the one. I'm just asking you to clarify.
My exams, which I wanted to take him.
Yeah, no,
you're asking a question.
No, the point is this. Let us get it clear, Christian. Somebody who has embezzled, you say 5 billion. Did you say?
Mm-hmm. More than 10 billion. More than 9 billion.
Yeah. It means that person needs special measures from special courts. That's why it takes that procedure. You can continue.
What special court?
Richard,
we have the criminal procedure, special criminal court.
Do you want to go against the law?
Excuse me. That prosecutes those who have embezzled. Mm-hmm. And we are saying that if you have accused somebody, at least that person should be behind bars, waiting trial, while the matter is being followed up. But you allow the person, like Christian said, moving around, singing praises for the regime. Is that what we are supposed to do?
Which law are you quoting? That you are just accused the person, you put the person behind?
Are there people not in prison because waiting prosecution clear?
With facts established now.
But for how long do we have to wait for
who, for example? Give an example.
No, we don't want to call names here.
Okay, go on.
But I was saying that,
yes.
Mr. Director.
Yes.
Forgive me for trying to ask a question on your behalf.
No, don't ask.
Exams. I'm not asking a question, but I want to bring it out.
Okay.
There is no year
that
we don't have scandals about entrance exams into ENAM.
Yes.
CONAC has never raised its voice on the supposed corruption in the entrance exams into ENAM.
Never?
No,
use the word never?
Never.
You see,
I cover CONAC on a daily basis.
Yeah, you see, we have in our program examination without corruption.
Yes.
So, and there are some high school. No, there are some.
No, I'm talking about ENAM. Don't forget about high school.
There are some professional.
Those are small things. We're talking about issues that matter because when you send somebody to ENAM who is not qualified.
First year, what I want to say.
You are training a bad administrator who can.
Let me tell you first.
Yes.
Like there are some professional school like Polytech. Like
no, I cited ENAM. I don't want to talk about
Connaissance Travaux Publics.
No,
they have signed
conventions.
Yeah, convention that when they are doing their exam, they are supposed to respect the integrity. They are supposed to respect the many.
Those things are signed on paper,
yes, but ENAM has not yet signed it with CONAC. That's what I want to tell you.
And why can you do that?
So ENAM has not yet signed it with CONAC.
No, please say. I'm sorry to say this. Yes. Are you saying that ENAM has to invite CONAC to come and say there's corruption here?
No, it's still the process. We have
but you have to go there. That's your rule, sir.
We have already written.
You have to.
Because that is one of the
we've understood your point. We have understood
from what he's saying. If I don't invite you to CRTV and there's corruption here, you will not come. That's what you are telling us here. Then CONAC has failed in that field.
No. So, you know, when you have to sign an agreement with somebody.
You don't need to sign an agreement, sir, to investigate the corruption. You don't have to sign an agreement.
Does he need to agree?
You don't need to sign
because it's about corruption we are talking about.
To agree first that when in your exam you should not be any corruption.
Please, CONAC is not supposed to sign that agreement.
Excuse me. Do you know? I mean, every year there is always an outcry against the entrance exams into admission into ENAM.
Yes.
No,
every year that is being done.
We agree.
Will CONAC continue to wait that they should approach them for protocol?
We
have denounced it. The investigation.
No, that's the point. That's the point.
Yes.
That's the point.
If it's denounced,
that's the
point.
Please, are going on. Please, let me ask you,
the investigation is taking too long, sir.
Christian, and Richard. What you are saying is that you are aware that in ENAM.
We have said they should investigate.
No, I'm with you. I'm not against.
We have said they should investigate.
Now,
it is not established.
Now, do you
CONAC is said to investigate?
See, as the publisher of a newspaper, Richard also a publisher of another newspaper, which means that your level in your newspapers are very high.
Yeah.
And you have the power of the fourth estate to do investigation, independent investigation.
And that's why we're asking CONAC.
No, you are not asking. You're supposed to go yourself, publish articles on what is happening. First thing, I ask you, Christian, do you know cases that have gone through corruption? If you know, have you denounced them? either to CONAC or to order the...
Good question.
Yes.
I tell you, Mr. Director is aware.
Yes.
The Guardian Post is one of the newspapers that CONAC works with.
Yes, yes.
Yes. No,
Have you denounced?
And CONAC relies on various newspaper reports to launch their investigations.
Have you denounced?
No, please let me learn.
Okay.
Yes.
Killian, we have raised the issues about alleged corruption into exams, entrance exams into ENAM.
Yes.
And the question I asked him, we have never heard CONAC citing ENAM as an institution as one of those institutions that the talk of corruption keeps coming on.
Now what?
And his answer is that until ENAM signs.
No, it's not so.
No,
I want to tell that one is in the prevention aspect. You know, before reaching the way that
Christian, please.
But it's good that ENAM should have first an agreement with CONAC that when we are doing our exam, it will be no corruption.
Christian, please, Christian.
This convention.
Let him speak. Let him speak.
Yes.
Please listen. Let him speak.
About ENAM, you know, I'm not here to tell you about our investigation that we are carrying. So I'm not there to...
So where do you publish your report about it now?
Not to the public.
When we finish the investigation,
yes. Since 2006, you are still investigating.
When we finish... You don't know before we have solved ENAM. You don't know.
And people are crying here.
No, you don't know. I'm not here to tell that we are doing this.
ENAM is not our focus. ENAM is not our focus on this program.
Yes.
We have talked so much on ENAM. It was just an example. It's true that that example is so speaking that it comes off all the time. But we're going to go out of ENAM to go to generalities because our point is not ENAM. But I will not go without asking you, Christian. You say you have published so many articles on alleged corruption.
Yes.
When you public alleged corruption, it is still too vague for the CONAC to go into. You have to denounce, and denunciations are secret. They are not open. You give names. Have you given the names? Or you never ever go into the names?
Remember, a good journalist is the one who says suspected, alleged, until the court pronounces that person as guilty. That's why we have problems with CRTV journalists who say Amber fighters have killed. It is only the court that can say this action was done by Amber fighter. Well, so we said suspected.
No,
that's why when we're writing our report, we say there's alleged corruption in ENAM entrance exams, and that lead can give CONAC the leeway to investigate.
Well, your lesson will not be learned by CRTV if at all, because I know it's not credible. Our topic is this: corruption. Who is winning the war? That is the topic we are.
If you have to answer, I will tell you that for the moment.
Yes.
If you see, CONAC itself have carried a certain a survey, and the survey. The survey was carried in between 2010 and 2015. In that survey, it was the perception of for the users of administration towards corruption, and you will see that in 2010 it was 6.6%. But in 2015, it came down to 5.80.
How scientific is that survey? How scientific?
No, you know, when we are doing survey, we are not doing it like that.
There's a margin of error.
Yes,
so you cannot rely on that.
We call expert, and we have also regulation to carry out.
Please, you cannot do a survey and you think that is 100% correct.
No, nobody ever says that. And there's always a margin of error. There's always a margin of error in everything we do. He has not said 100%. You cannot hold him to task for that. Everywhere there's margin of error.
I think you are not here to defend him. You are here to moderate.
I'm also to defend science. Moderation also defends science.
You are playing the advocacy for CONAC. It's not correct. You are here to moderate, Killian.
You want to hold somebody for margin of error.
Say it.
Okay. We have Elvis Teke, who is coming in here. We have had so many contributions from some of you who are watching us from your homes, along the routes, on your handsets, even on your laptops. We have several of you who have been contributing live to this program. That is broadcast on CRTV Web, Facebook, and you are watching us live. Elvis Teke is here with some of the contributions that are coming from you. Elvis, good day. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kilian. Good afternoon.
What do we have?
Quite a good number of reactions, both positive and negative. We begin straight away with the Eunice Ndem, who says there is
come closer.
There is a plausible strategy for to appeal to the sense and stimulate the required changes needed to fight corruption. Ibrahim Usman says, everything being equal, a piece of meat swallowed through the mouth can only be sent out through the annals. So corruption, to win the fight of corruption, they should increase religious studies in schools at all levels. We have Mutapeme Obesa, who says there is need for reinforced education at all levels to repair people's minds and mentalities. Then we have Mary Kilachin, who says those who are corrupt are winning the fight, and there's a need for government to take the action more seriously.
Thank you very much. That's all we had for today. We look forward to having you next week, Elvis Teke. We want our viewers are contributing. We got your viewers who is winning the fight against corruption. We're going to go around the table now to face out of the program, beginning with you, Christian.
Well, I already said CONAC should have done far better in the fight against corruption in this country if the text creating CONAC can give them the free hand to follow up, to make sure that those who they suspect of being involved in corruption are given a trial within the shortest time possible. If CONAC is given the powers to follow up the trial of those they think are corrupt, we would go very far in the fight against corruption in this country.
Okay, so Richard, the CONAC should go faster because they are the courts that are supposed to prosecute. CONAC's investigation should go faster, and then the people are handed over to the courts, because actually I think it's in line with what she's saying, just to correct that courts prosecute, not CONAC. Yes?
Yes, I think for us to win the fight against corruption, we should introduce, like somebody said, like a viewer said, religious studies in our schools, especially in the public schools. And I remember some years back there were some pilot schools with a program, fight against corruption through schools. And I don't know how far that program had gone and how it ended. I think we have to revisit that particular project, which was being monitored between the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders. So it is only through that, because we need a new generation of Cameroonians who can actually come out and have a corrupt-free society. And for us to have that corrupt-free society, we have to fight against corruption through schools, beginning from the nursery schools even. If we are done with that, I think the new generation of Cameroonians that are coming up will not hear so much about corruption.
So, Richard, we got you right. Change of mentality is primordial in fighting corruption, and it begins from the base. Mr. Epo,
okay. What I can say is that the fight against corruption is a problem of everybody, not only the problem of CONAC. And there is National Integrity Education Program in CONAC, and we are still implementing it. It's something that you see in the, we will not expect the result now, but the result is still to come. It will take its time, but if
why corruption is going on?
No, when the corruption is being solved by changing the habit. So if we succeed to teach our kids that corruption is a bad thing, I'm thinking that is the National Integrity Education Program will gain the fight against corruption. And what I have to say finally is that now the fear is no more with those who are not corrupt. The fear is in the side of the people who are corrupt.
Thank you very much. We took the National Anti-Corruption Commission for expertise, but we know that we have other bodies that fight against corruption in Cameroon. We have ANIF. We also have the Supreme State, Supreme State Audit Office, and we have so many others in the different administrations. Konak was our case study today. We had as guest on the program Mr. Epo Diodone, who is the head of Research and Cooperation Division of the National Anti-Corruption Commission. We had Christian Anga, Christian publisher of the Guardian Post newspaper, Richard Nde Lajong, who is the publisher of the Herald Tribune. That's what we made time for today, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are watching us, if you missed out on us, there will be a rebroadcast of this program by Monday, 2:33 p.m. and you can watch this program at your convenience if you log up to CRTV Web Facebook. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead. Masa, you want for